All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the LPL English broadcast coverage, brought to you this time by Esports Heaven, of course, and Games in Asia. We are back here for this awesome couple sets of the night. I'm Pyrotechnics, joined on the broadcast by Froskarin. Froska, you ready for the games tonight? I know I am.
I am so excited for the games tonight. It cannot be understated. Tonight, opening a little bit of a slow pitch. It's going to be World Elite Academy versus LGD, obviously the bottom of the bracket, taking up to the plate. But after that, it's it's the showdown of first place, World Elite versus OMG.
I'm really excited for this one. You guys will want to be staying up, or wherever you are in your respective time zones for that, as that's definitely going to determine who will be front runner after all this. You can foresee a couple of rankings, and not those rankings you want, though, flashing by right now. But yeah, that is going to be an awesome match. Not to take anything away from LGD and World Academy, definitely not fighting for as much, although LGD still has a lot to prove.
Yeah, they've. I'll go ahead and switch it over to our standings real quick instead of the stream, so you can see on the screen what we're dealing with right now. Obviously, these matches are both very important for who's A, going to seat themselves in first place, but B, where Invictus Gaming and LGD are going to land. Obviously, if LGD 2-0s World Elite Academy here, but you know, World Elite Academy has split with good teams before, and by good I mean the Invictus Gaming teams, the two sister teams. They've split with Young Glory and Invictus Gaming. LGD will have 3 points, which will put them over Invictus Gaming back into that 5th place spot, but of course the spot that everyone wants is they want that 4th place spot. It's the 4 top teams that make it into the playoffs.
Yeah, and it's the easiest one to catch by a couple of points right now, although Starhorn currently occupying that spot, followed up, as you see, by Invictus Gaming. 3 points down from them, but anything can happen, of course. This is going on pretty far into the season, actually, so getting going with this one.
Yeah, we're about week 7, so we still got a little bit of a stretch to go. That said, there is literally no excuse for World Elite not to be in first place by the end of this weekend. Not, you know, throwing on my World Elite fan gear, but they actually play, I believe, 3 games this weekend. EDG plays 2 and OMG plays 1. So just the amount of points that are available for World Elite to take. So this is kind of nut up or shut up time.
Yeah, this is what they have to do, and they have a lot of chances to get themselves up to that point. But LGD definitely just fighting for a little bit more relevancy in this one in World Elite Academy. They're fighting just not to be bottom at this point. They are really not having a great split.
Picking up the back train. That said, they have a little bit of a Hail Mary pass, as you can see last week's games showing up, of course, OMG versus IG.
Oh, those were great sets.
It feels like it's been so long. Yeah, IG actually split with OMG.
They split with everybody, it seems like. OMG, no exception to the rule, and that game number 1 definitely turned up huge in favor of OMG, but then they answered right on back, and you see they gave the MVP over to Zatai. That was a fantastic play.
Zatai always seems to show up when he gets on a real champion.
When he needs to, as opposed to what, with all the crazy stuff that he likes to rock?
Shaking my head. I did like to see the shout out from Quickshot this weekend on the EULCS, talking about the OG Zillion pick. Coming from Zatai, of course, Faker using the OG into a little bit better success.
Well, yeah, he did, but of course, we all know how that turned out at the end of the set. I won't say anything else, guys. It's not a spoiler anymore because it's been several days. You've had your chances to watch it. But this isn't about OGN, this is about LPL, guys, and we will be bringing you some awesome matches tonight. What do you think goes down in this first set? These are teams that have split quite a lot in recent weeks.
Yeah, they split with other teams, but they have not split yet with themselves. Again, the only teams that World Elite Academy has split with to get their 2 little points are Invictus Gaming and Young Glory. LGD 2-0'd them the last time that they faced. And the difference here is that World Elite Academy, we talked about kind of their Hail Mary pass. They're bringing a bit of a different roster. Obviously, they have the new Korean blood on the block. They've got Khan up in the top lane, and they now have Mickey God in the mid lane, although Mickey God formerly showed up in the jungle. Is a Lee Sin main, known for his Lee Sin mid, actually. So like, you know what, he plays Lee Sin mid, we can throw him in the jungle. That's the same thing, right? Obviously, it didn't work out for them. They had Shie previously, known as his Annie mid. Decided to bench him, moved Mickey God to the mid lane, and now have Soas, or previously Love ANG, back in that jungle. So let's see if they can find a little bit more success.
Speaking of name switcheroonies, too, in case you guys aren't totally familiar with Khan, also known as Hanbalong, comes from Korea, too. So they definitely have an infused with, you might say, a little more talent. Looking at the way that their team is lined up at this point, with Mickey God in the mid lane, he definitely has played it a lot I don't want to say better than GA, but it's certainly seemed more comfortable than he was in the jungle. And I think this is a nice move for them. Seem to be picking up some momentum.
He's also been riding that Ahri hype train. Now remember, this isn't the Ahri buff patch. This is the patch right before it. We've seen a lot of Wayless picking up Ahri. We've seen a lot of totally spacing. Mickey God, there we go, picking up Ahri. So obviously prepping for that. I will say though that watching World Elite Academy over the split so far, I've been most impressed with them actually in their set that they played against LGD the first time. SMLZ played Draven. I believe he got a, I think it was a quadra kill, close to a pentakill that game. It was like hard carry. I was like, oh, World Elite, they can actually do this. SMLZ is going to put the team on his back. Unfortunately, superior shot calling from PYL led LGD to victory. Well, unfortunately for World Elite Academy. So we'll see if maybe their new roster, they'll find more synergy, they're able to pull it out. LGD stats now currently on the screen there. They started to slip a little bit, but I mean, I still feel that LGD...
4 defeats don't matter. You get 1 win against Starhorn World Club, and that's all that counts, right?
You took their name. Those were a good set as well. I just feel like LGD is in more of a position to be a dark horse and to kind of mix up the standings. They look really strong. It's just a couple of synergy issues. We talk about a lot about their jungler, Chuan.
Yeah, he's a bit of the problem. When he doesn't play Lee Sin, they just don't have great games.
We make the joke that he needs echolocation to find everything, but we're doing the lineups. This is going to be 17 in the top lane if they start from the top. Yep, there we go.
That's been a lot better, actually, than Star was. Really, good pickup for them.
Oh, yeah, very, very solid. And he has a really versatile champion pool. I feel like LGD formerly was considered kind of a patch team simply because they had very limited champion pools. Obviously, their new roster branches out. Speaking of limited champion pools, Chuan here.
Yeah, there he is right there.
There's that Elise, Lee Sin, Elise. He's been picking it up on Elise, but still his definite comfort pick is going to be Lee Sin, and since Love ANG or SOS is on the other side of that jungle, you know that Lee Sin is going to be the priority pick or ban.
They do love the Blind Monk in China, but especially these two teams. Of course,
yes.
The mid lane, it's the man himself. Of course, it's going to be Wayless, and he did rock a pretty great Ahri pick. Last time you saw that in the top plays. Nice flash juke over the wall to avoid the Acathian surprise. It might be contested with Mickey God on the other side.
Yeah, and remember, Ahri hasn't been buffed yet, so they're literally fighting over pre-buffed Ahri. Of course, this is going to be XQ. I actually really like XQ's performance. A lot of people were unsure of where to put him simply because he had only played Lucian, but we finally saw his Jinx did very, very well. I feel like he reads as a very smart player, and of course, next to him, speaking of smart, we have the captain of the team, PYL. Obviously, big Thresh player. He gets really involved with his team, very early roamer. The shot caller captain, a lot of... Wayless, in particular, I said the reason why I chose to come to LGD over other offers that were given to me is because I believe in PYL's ability to captain the team to victory.
Talk about a guy with a big personality, big time. You can always see him, win or lose after the game. He's always saying something to the team. Whether it's encouragement or, guys, what did we do that time? I don't know. Well, we'll have to see if they can make it happen in this game. I think it would be safe to say they're probably a little favored in this one just because their opponents, of course, will be World Elite Academy, who we'll be introducing in just a moment. There is their win percentage. Not looking good. 12.5% and only taking a win in the last 5 over IG, and that was just one game, too.
Yeah, that said, taking down Invictus Gaming, they are qualified. They took, what, second place in the spring split? I gotta, rep IG to the very end. But, it's an impressive feat nonetheless. Sometimes they can show up, but again,
everyone can beat everyone.
We talk about their roster switch up. Of course, this is going to be their support. Oh, wow, we're actually starting from the top lane.
We switched it over. Yeah, we're going
top
now. It's Khan Hanbelong. There he is. He's played a lot of things. Aurelia, Gragas. He actually has liked that Aurelia a lot lately, and he's been doing pretty well on it.
They totally juked me up. Oh, no, they didn't. They just have them set up strangely.
Yeah. You saw it going from the other end, and it was like, wait, what? So, going on forward, this is SMLZ. Good job there. I don't know why they actually had the top next to him. That was very strange.
Unless they're moving Khan over into the support position.
That would be really strange. Let's see what happens.
It should start with the support and then move to AD carry mid. We will see who shows up where. Obviously, normally their support is Yushe, so that was SMLZ, their AD carry.
The roster swaps are pretty crazy on World Elite Academy right now. See what they go with. Yeah, Mickey God, of course, in the mid lane, and he's been playing some Ahri himself. He also knows Lulu, as you can see. And he was a mid laner. He said known for a very strange Lee Sin mid pickup. I don't think he'll be trying it now, but you never know.
Has that pocket pick available to him, and the jungle is going to be Love ANG, or known as SOS. Big big Lee Sin player. Has been playing a lot of Jarvan, obviously,
though,
but is known for his Lee Sin. For a long time, he was almost considered, he had the reputation of being the best Lee Sin in China. One of the stronger junglers in LSPL. Perhaps in LPL. Obviously, that has yet to come to fruition against big names like Drug. See if he does any better against Chuan. In the top lane, though, since Khan's in the bottom, is this going to be Yushe?
Apparently. Yeah.
Nope,
no,
it was just a
okay, so
a
they totally glitched out on what they were showing us. So, yeah, Yushe is, of course, there. And so everyone makes a couple mistakes, I suppose, even us, from time to time. But this lineup from World Academy has been a little bit stronger since they've made their last swaps. Still not perfect. They still have a long way to go to avoid the relegation, however it plays out at the end of this season. But we've got some weeks ahead of us, and they've got a lot to prove going into game number 1 against LGD. We'll be getting into picks and bans in just a moment. What do you expect to be picked, or rather, first priority banned away here, Frostgrin?
We talk a lot about how China doesn't really understand the pick-ban phase, but I feel like one of the exceptions to that is whenever any team faces LGD, they know to ban away Lee Sin from Chuan. That's pretty obvious, it's pretty standard, it seems like it should be really obvious, but I cannot emphasize how underdeveloped Chinese pick-and-ban phase can be at times. So
they do go for some strange things. Sometimes they waste bans totally unnecessarily.
I feel like it's going to be Gragas Lee Sin, Thresh Braum, Lulu. I'm going to go with those 5. 5 out of 6. Let's see. Let's see.
You think the Ahri hype train, maybe?
I don't think Ahri will be banned. I think it could very possibly be played, but those are my bans that I'm going to throw out there.
Yeah, gotta wait for that new patch to come in, too.
Team's getting set up right now. We should still be on 4.10, I believe.
Yeah, so they it's really hard to tell sometimes when they don't switch it over, but we'll see.
Let me check with our sources.
I'm going ahead and just going on that assumption for the time being, but these guys are pretty happy to rock that pick nonetheless, and they're looking ready. Very confident, focused faces as they get ready to go into game number 1. I always wonder what those juice drinks are that they get to drink there. I kind of want one.
Well, obviously they're sponsored by that juice commercial that plays on 24/7.
I don't think that's the same juice, though. You can see it's a can. It's not a little
it could be
plastic
coffee.
Bottle. It could be, but it looks like juice. It's like the color of juice, so I assume it's juice.
You wouldn't want to drink coffee out of a bright yellow can with like mangoes on it?
Probably not. And if it tasted like coffee, I would question it. I've got my coffee out of a, not out of a tin, but one of those, what do you call them? The things that they roll up.
That was so easy too.
Oh yeah, that's obvious. Okay, and Brahm's banned away.
I
have seen it played actually at PYL a couple of times. Ziggs now contested, and I think that's just because they really like Ziggs a lot in China in general. These are also very general picks.
Okay, so I'm being told that it should actually be 4.11.
Oh, so there will be Ahri buffs.
But we don't know for sure yet, so we'll have to wait until we actually get in game. Obviously, China tends to drop the ball a little bit on keeping up to date with their patches.
It's the first day of week 7, so you know, has to pass through the ringers.
Obviously, that Yasuo ban being targeted away at Wayless. There's a Leona ban, actually.
Whoa, okay. And we know Yushe does like Leona, but not so much lately.
I kind of swerved all over the road with these.
Well, what you expect is not what they do. They get in your head. This LGD team and the Thresh ban. I think that's pretty standard, especially against PYL. What do they first pick, though? Kale? Still
well, if this is 4.11, the Kale nerfs have come in, as well as the Jax nerfs. Just slight hits to the attack speed.
Yeah, they might go for it anyways. They do like those hyper-carrying later styles anyways, and they lock it in for 17. He has played a lot of it lately, so see how it performs up. But this leaves Lee Sin open right now. And that was kind of odd that they didn't opt for that immediately. Maybe they're trusting a little more variety now.
Well, he has started to play Lee Sin. He has started to play Elise. We talk about how kind of building that confidence there, although it doesn't look like SOAS is going to let him have it, since they're going to prioritize Kale.
Mickey should go for that Lulu as well.
Yeah.
I don't think that's fun.
Kale and Lulu very powerful in China specifically as a region, obviously because a lot of that power is coming from those 80 carries, SMLZ and XQ, respectively, in these games. SMLZ, you know, has the reputation of, I was handpicked by Wei Xiao, I'm supposed to be his protege. Ooh, really changing up with that Eve hover. XQ, kind of an underdog replacing the STYZ. A lot of people thought that STYZ was, you know, one of the better AD carries in China, had a big reputation and a following. Obviously, some issues with Lace. why he's not participating on LGD's roster anymore. But I feel like
well, we won't talk about that.
I feel
we'll
like they found a big strong suit with XQ. Obviously has shown mostly Lucian play, although he did play Jinx his last set and did fantastic.
Speaking of XQ, if they lock this one in, this is such a high risk, high reward between Chuan's Jarvan. And yeah, they do get the Jinx. I really like this, just picking it ahead very safely. And this is 4-11. This is the time of Caitlyn. Do we see the Caitlyn counterpick?
No, but we will see a Lucian hover.
All right. They're going for it. Confident. It's before Lucian gets his massive changes, of course. Well, on 4.11 right now. SMLZ's definitely demonstrated a pretty good Lucian play. But I really like Jinx in this matchup.
Didn't Lucian's changes come through on 4.11? And then it was tweaked more on 4.12?
Did I get my patches mixed up?
I'll have to pull up the patches in between. That said, we don't know for sure if it's 4.11 against China. It's kind of like a toss-up in the air, so we will definitely have to see when
those summoner spells, though.
I'm checking them out right now.
Those are some OP summoner spells. Clairvoyance and Clarity.
You had, I think you were trying to mesh them together there, and you kind of bailed out halfway
I was,
through.
and I was like, that's not gonna work.
That's not happening.
It's two summoner spells. You can't put them together like that.
I see.
See if XQ goes for it as well.
Again, we talked about. Oh, please play Zillion. We talked about the power of Kayle and Lulu in the Chinese meta, which allows them to pick up Jinx so early and so safely there. If PYL goes through with that, that would be a support Zillion, especially as they're hovering Orianna for Wayless.
This would be interesting. I haven't seen... Well, it is a support Zillion. Oh, last second switch over to Zed. Okay. A lot of assassination potential on this LGD side.
I really like this pickup. A lot of people would say, why not choose Orianna, because she's almost like a pseudo Lulu. In this case, she's going to offer that much more protection for XQ. But the fact that they're balancing it out with a with other damage threats, and that Zed is so self-sufficient in his mobility that you don't need to protect him. You can just worry about Jinx at that point. So I think that's very, very smart.
Yeah, and Lucian's ultimate ability will definitely come in handy in fights as well. Although, they may want to get the assassination off early. Going to be locking in Aurelia. Just one more second on that one. And so we got a little word confirmed. Yeah, so this still is 410. Hence the Kayle pickup immediately. That makes a lot more sense. And Lucian's still going to be his old self. But I still favor this matchup on the bot side. Zillion can be a real big lane bully if they let him. And I don't think they're going to really be prepared for this on Academy side.
I think the big Zillion support kind of in the history of China actually showed at All-Stars, at least when it was most effective. I'm talking, of course, it was Piglet. It was SK versus...
You mean Pumandu?
Yeah, but it was I was trying to think of the AD carry. It was Piglet and Pumanzu versus OMG's bot lane at the time, San and... I'm totally spacing their support at the time, because Pamela was in the jungle.
They've had a lot of supports. Oh, it was Alan, okay.
And they literally had to pick up the Zillion to survive the lane because there were so many kills going down, and it worked very effectively.
And then it gave Faker the idea to go mid. Just kidding.
I think Zatai might have started that trend a little bit, but I have to write that
the real secret. I do like the Zillion pickup too. It definitely adds a lot of sustain to the lane, as well as enables a lot of later game shenanigans if they want to go through with it. Jinx is such a high risk, high reward carry that they're going to be relying quite heavily, I think, on picking up those early kills. XQ has definitely demonstrated a really good Jinx play.
There are...
See how Xuan does on Jarvan, though.
Issues, of course, to Zillion. Zillion is going to offer you movement speed. He can help control the other AD carry because he also has a slow there. Obviously, he has superior burst damage. I shouldn't say burst because it's technically like a dot, but it can burst out. Obviously, the double bomb with the rewind effect. The issue, though, is that he is incredibly mana hungry. It's very hard to lane with Zillion, and kind of one of the major reasons why he's not considered viable, although we're starting to see little peaks of him internationally, is because he's so mana deficient. It's like, it's 2 bombs and you're done. So coming from the support role, he won't have that blue buff available to him, which means that he's going, I would assume, have to invest heavily in at least Chalice, possibly something else. So we'll see how he's able to carry it over from support, or from mid to the support lane.
Yep, and here we are. Jumping into game number 1 is going to be LGD versus World League Academy, as Mickey God takes the option to just dance it out in the mid and pokes Wayless, who clearly wasn't expecting that, but otherwise, very safe start line of scrimmage from both these teams.
Complete BM.
Hey, I was shopping. Why'd you hit me with a glitter lance? That was mean.
We see 17 about to face check.
Ah, careful.
Everyone's just
Hey,
kind
that's
of.
my champion. Give him back, says Shuan.
Everyone's kind of just eyeing each other. Line of scrimmage. Some early wards going down. Khan decides to place a ward right in his face.
Although LGD is definitely motioning for what could be a late invade here. XQ, PYL making their moves up there. I think they'll go for it.
I was going to say, I don't think there was any way that they were going to allow a Jinx to lane versus Lucian Morgana.
Well, never know. Uh-oh, Soist. Yeah, that's a Sonic Wave. I see a PYL. What are you doing in that bush?
You have to think of the strength of Zilean. It's kind of like the Vel'Koz support when that was big. It was big because of the lane swap where you bypass Vel'Koz's... Because obviously Vel'Koz against someone like Thresh, like Leona, they're going to get crushed in a lane and it's just going to be free food every single time. I feel that Zilean kind of in the same boat. Obviously a little bit safer, but the issue is that it's hard for him. He doesn't have any innate sustain to help him kind of survive the lane phase. Again, very mana inefficient. He wants to bypass and he wants to get his level 6, which is where he's really going to take off from the support role and obviously what he's intended to be there for. So the easier his laning phase is for him, the better. Jinx also very good at pushing down towers.
Interesting thing to note too is the start for Wayless. He goes for the Doran shield to try and sustain through Mickey. He's very afraid of dealing with this Lulu, and I think that was a really smart pickup for Mickey God.
Oh, definitely Lulu, a huge threat. Double jungle meta now going down. This is to be expected, that lane swap. We'll see if they now transfer it over into either an early dragon to counter, if they possibly look for a 4v0 in the tower dive, depending on how that teleport is either used or fumbled by 17.
So far, so good. They're just going to allow the tower pushes. And actually, we have a couple of backs coming down from World Elite Academy. You see Shuan wanting to make some moves over into the Wraith camp, but they're all gone. Cleaned out, fresh out, sold out. Have to come back in a couple of minutes. Here's a roam, though. We have PYL making some moves.
To be expected. I think he's just clearing some wood. I don't think that there's any...
That's more experience for XQ.
He could drive by and, what is he, level 1? I wish the camera guy would zoom up. Oh, he's level 2, so he does have his slow available to him.
He's got more than one ability.
Or his rewind.
Yeah, but now Khan is going to be dealing with XQ solo, and that's really dangerous. You do not want to put a Jinx up against an Aurelia.
I think he should be okay, though. Changes to the EXP. Wait, 4.10. We're not on 4.11 yet, so...
Yeah.
Tower
and
still...
you know, the farm is pretty big right now, actually. XQ has been completely uncontested for most of that, where SMLZ has had a little bit of trouble since you see Chuan making some moves in the bot side. Got to be careful not to overextend with 17, but they're staying safe for the time being and letting this play out. Khan push back against his tower. Just getting bits of clock thrown at him. That's got to hurt.
It's also different strategies. They're going for a slow push method as opposed to an early dragon and then to counter. Oh, but hold on. A little bit of an engage. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Coming down.
Goes a little far forward. He gets the lockup on his 17. That's a lot of damage. Ignite comes in. Whoa, I don't think he was expecting that and burns his flash. A little hastily. Khan, meanwhile, got a bomb on his head, but so is just coming in hot. XQ staying in a very safe position around the side, but he does get queued by Sois nonetheless. Double buffs Lee Sin looking for blood. Won't be able to find it.
Kind of some curious flashes. I definitely don't think that there was any reason for 17 to flash right there. He effectively waited until every single cooldown.
Everything's reset. I got a flash now. Yeah, that was
now.
Really...
now is the danger.
I think scared move by him. Oh, PYL going forward. More bombs. This is the real threat of a Zilean support. How he's so annoying to deal with.
Oh, his zone pressure is pretty much unparalleled if you've ever faced off down the lane against a Zilean support. Obviously, he's just going to step forward and drop those bombs on you every single time, and they do quite a bit of damage. The issue, though, again, is that he cannot do that for long. He doesn't have the mana for it. We see Chuan now standing off to the side, possibly looking for a gank on Mickey God.
Yeah, this would be a really good time for it, but he's staying really safe. You got to think Wayless, he's going to be kind of down in a hole to begin with, but he's keeping up in farm perfectly.
A lot of damage already down on that tower, so poking his
He
head.
really loves this top lane right now. But Khan is not quite so happy. Those bombs keep on coming.
He does have his flask available to him, so the sustain is fine for that lane. It's really just now waiting for his tower to be taken down so he can have a free farm lane opened up to him. It's where Aurelia wants to be, item-dependent champion. Meanwhile, now in the bottom lane, SMLZ, Yushe. Finally have a big wave pushed on, but look at the difference between tower health.
Oh yeah, well this is a Jinx too. Jinx will push towers down relentlessly. Lucian will too, but he has to get a little closer to do it. Whereas Xuan and 17 have not really let him. Been body blocking a few shots. It's a lot of damage out of Lucian early though.
Definitely has the burn potential there for a tower if he ever gets really a hold of it. I'm curious if after they shove down this... Typically, if they shove down this tower, if they really go and decide that they're done with the free farm lane, transfer back down into the bottom so they have a numbers advantage, or at least a... not necessarily an advantage, but they even out the numbers to contest for Dragon. That would be a two global buff swing.
Khan is about to hit 6, and he goes in with the Blade Surge, stunned up, XQ. Takes himself a little bit of a breather, and he'll be able to secure the first tower of the game for LGD. 6.5 minutes in, and Wayless, got to be careful as So is coming around the side. Dodges out the Sonic Wave. He's not a ninja for nothing.
It's fancy footwork on Lucian, making sure that he's killing as much experience
Oh, I love this
denial.
XQ. How did he not get aggro from that?
Because Aurelius had stepped off the tower.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Well played.
Sir.
Excuse me.
I'm gonna have to ask you to calm down. It's early, I know.
I can't calm down. This is LPL. I'm excited. All right, so Wayless has actually shoved Mickey back in, and this is really nice right now for LGD. They play in the long game, but they found themselves in an early lead anyways.
They have that global, obviously from the first tower. Dragon has not been contested, and typically when the top tower is taken, it's in response to an early Dragon. So a bit of a fumble there from World Elite Academy in the early game. See if they can possibly answer with the tower, although I can't pan down there. I wish the camera guy would, so I could check the health on that tower.
You are just mean to our obs tonight.
This camera guy in LPL, I don't know if he's drinking coffee or if he's smoking a cigarette when he does this, but sometimes he just really drops the ball. Chuan getting a nice blue buff steal, though, obviously due to the wording.
Uh-oh, XQ.
He's fine.
Gonna be executed Khan. Yeah, he's not going to have the damage just yet. He's not even 6. Look at this denial. Uh-oh, Sois being jumped on. Wayless gets the death mark, and they just walk it out. It's going to go down. First blood, and now it's looking to be a Dragon at 8 minutes in. Nicely played, well rotated by LGD.
Entirely outmaneuvered. Really, the MVP of that play was that ward in the tri-bush, which A, allowed the steal to go through, although PYL, some fancy footwork.
He's dodging. He's pretty fast for an old guy, but not fast enough. Ignite's going to tick him down with the help of picks. And still, Dragon goes over to LGD, but that was a nice equalizer kill.
World Elite, yeah, they found something for the trouble. A lost Zillion. Had some dementia wandering through the river there, but they also got the warding, so they had the timer of the Dragon, but unfortunately, again, that ward, it's not often that I get to say, good ward, China, good ward.
Oh, 17 runs right into the queue, and he might be locked up here. Usually coming around for the flank, and SMLZ gets himself a kill as well. Yeah, that was a bit of mispositioning from LGD's top laner.
Ishay coming out really big right there. I believe he also participated in the kill in the river.
He's got 100% kill participation right now. Those are boots he's walking with.
Dim Mobies. Obviously, the roam support very popular in China.
Yeah, we saw PYL doing it too.
PYL, Conan, Yushay.
Everybody likes to roam. That's why Leona was really popular for a while, right?
Yep. They love their hard engage. They love being powerful and support, able to make plays. Obviously, because the 80 carries are so powerful in China, they like to leave them alone in the lanes for as long as possible to get as much solo EXP and gold.
Dangerous game to play, though, especially when you're talking about somebody like Jinx. But XQ has really impressed so far this game. He goes for an interesting start, too. The boots 2 before he finishes up anywhere near his eye edge, just sitting on the BF sword.
Obviously, good for that mobility, but I'm actually looking at SOAS right here, seeing if they'll possibly go for the dive. Kale is 6th at this point, so it becomes a little bit scarier.
He's always available. It looks like he thinks about it.
He fumbles the
minions. I'm going away now. Guys, I'm going back to base if you need me. PYL. Whoa! Careful. Dodge that away. The tower. He's taking some shots from that, but he adds back on a bomb. SMLZ might think about twice diving in there. Jinx Rocket's still available.
SOAS seems a little bit disorganized right now. Hasn't really made the connection that he wants to.
Oh, he comes in! Not enough damage. He unloaded a little bit too early. XQ, though, playing it out pretty well. Meanwhile, Wayless and Mickey trading it back. Xuan, oh, his Whimsy's gone, has to flash forward, and there is the Charvin jump in. Cataclysm going to lock up Mickey for Wayless or Xuan to secure that kill. It looks like it's Xuan. Oh, Soist, just out of position. Oh, they want more. Deathmar comes in, kicks him back. And they might go for this one, and they do. He gets popped.
Again, we were just talking about Soas, how he looks clumsy, he looks like he's consistently out of position, walks in front of the Zed, Deathmark hadn't been used, obviously he's immediately punished for that, Global Tower goes down, PYL, yeah, picking up a pink ward, just add some salt onto the wound, and talk about that Mega Death Rocket bottom. It necessarily wasn't to kill SMLZ, obviously if he had gotten the kill that would have been fantastic, but really just to alleviate any sort of wave clear on that pressure. Or on that tower and to get a few more hits. So look at how close that bottom tower is also now to going down. This is going to be immediately a 3 global tower swing as well as a dragon for LGD before 15 minutes.
Yeah, they're doing really fantastically. Just got to stop running into those skill shots. PYL. Hey, really, sometimes you really think maybe Lucian does have, or Lucian, maybe it's me. Maybe Zilean has some dementia. He's getting lost sometimes.
Is this going to be our running joke?
There's no league, there's no like retirement home for league champions, is there?
I believe the Summoner's Rift is technically the retirement home for.
So what you're saying is they have to work until they die?
Yeah, over and over and over again.
I'm not sure if I'd want to work in the Runeterra economics division.
You know who needs a visual update though? Zilean.
Yeah, he does. His beard needs to look a little more glorious.
I hope that he comes back into viability just so Riot will fix him, because I'm tired of...
Hey, he's still viable. You saw Faker rocking that. You see PYL right now.
Everyone goes
I'd say
to
that's
Faker.
totally viable.
I gotta...
If Faker plays it, it's viable. That's the rule. Uh-oh. XQ, he's locked up. There's a culling around the side. His health bar's dropping, but the Zilean ult's out there, and he burns his flash anyways. Probably didn't need to. And Soist will actually proc that Zilean ultimate. He's going far forward on it. Bombs, that's a whole lot of damage, and I don't know if Lee Sin's going to live through it. Summon or heal. Not going to be enough as XQ takes himself a kill, and they're going in. Shuan is already there. SMLZ in the Jarvan ult has to flash away. Khan is around the side. He's going to get PYL, but no, he's not. And yes, he is, actually. The intervention was not enough to keep him alive. I was going back and forth on that one, but still, LGD coming up big with 4 kills for 1.
I just
had no dragons available.
So last, you want to talk about mechanical misstep. I don't know if he just wasn't as familiar with the Zilean time on the death, but obviously if someone has 2 HP, has the Zilean ultimate on them, if you kill them, they respawn with health that's equal to, it's based off of the AP that he has. So obviously XQ was going to come back with more health no matter what if you decided to kill him instead of just waiting out the Zilean ultimate. Because obviously if he doesn't die while Zilean ulted, he's just going to have that 2 HP left to him. Completely fumbles that play and kills him and gives him the extra regen. Although XQ on the run here. Oh!
Oh, he dodges it! That was some nice stepping. 2-step Jinx. Not just got the phonograph to dance to. That was nicely played. Yeah, PYL got the nice ult off, and the timing was really, really right to save XQ. I think Sois just isn't used to playing against the Zilean.
He just looks uncomfortable right now. I don't know what's going on.
Lee Sin was totally a takeaway. I think they should have gone with something different. It's funny.
But this is his champion that he's known for. Like, that's the thing. Like, I understand that it's
off.
It's being utilized as a 4th ban against Chuan, but obviously Chuan is finding so much success on Jarvan right now. We talked about how he only plays Lee Sin. He's maybe started to pick up Elise, but obviously facing literally the worst team in LPL. Last place, I guess, is a more apt way of saying that. But 2-0-4 right now. 7 kills, has participated in 6 of them.
Yeah, he's been a really big force on this team, and actually good timing, good positioning as well, forcing like the flash when he got Mickey and then still saving his Cataclysm for after that. He looks like a completely different player right there.
Another dragon going over to LGD, increasing their gold lead at this point.
Oh yeah, 1 more in the pocket, so they got themselves a pretty solid gold lead of about 5,000. Way less going in onto Sois. Now his health bar is pretty rapidly dropping, but the kickback will force him away for the time being. Rocket comes in! XQ mops up that kill. Oh, what a beautiful snipe.
Salt in the wound at this point. Sois has just been targeted every single time. 0-4 right now. 46 CS, so staying decently even with Chuan, but has not found a lot of success, and with that death gives them a numbers advantage and a 2nd tier mid tower at 15 minutes. That's just 4 towers down, and now Wayless looking for more.
Khan, gotta be careful. Out of position, can't deal with Zed. He's stunned up for a moment. Here comes XQ, though. Flame Chopper's gonna stun up him, and he gets him down. Another kill to this Jinx, 3-0-2. That is not what you want on World Elite Academy's side. They're still shoving for the second-tier top, and their health bars are dropping. Mickey's now being targeted out.
A lot of people were questioning where XQ stood compared to STYZ in LGD's new roster. He's only played Lucian. We don't know how to judge him right now. We saw his Jinx last week. We see his Jinx right now. I feel like he's a very intelligent player and has really identified himself as, I wouldn't say, you know, top 380 carry in China, because obviously the context there is pretty hard, but definitely very impressive.
Certainly knows what he likes to play and plays it extremely well. They prioritize Jinx over Lucian, which is pretty rare, to be honest, for an LPL team, and it's really paying dividends for them. 3-0. High risk, high reward. They played it out, and they got the reward they were looking for.
Their composition is very unique and very smart right now. It almost reminds me of a pseudo-Gambit composition, you know, when they used to run like Zac, Aatrox, when they...
Like a lot of off-tankiness.
It wasn't the off-tankiness, it was the Resurrection.
Yeah.
Having the Cell Division, the Blood Well, things like that. The fact that it's like that double Zillion now I got Resurrection.
Zillion Kale, yeah.
Zillion Intervention. Double up. And then again, I love, people be like, well, why not just do Orion and synergize with it? I love the fact that it's Zed because he's so self-sufficient. They don't need to take care of him. Literally, Kale and Zillion just have to look after Jinx at this point, where Zed can, you know, Wayless can do everything that he wants. He can be that hero that we know that he likes to be. He has this reputation in China of, he's good, but he goes too hero, as they like to say. He goes too ham.
Well, he's so far worked out for him, and this is a really cool build from him, too. I like the Blade of the Rune King and the Yomus. Double swords, he's got them in both hands, but he's also got Shuriken. I'm not sure how he holds them all, but it helps.
Celeste.
Oh, man.
Look at Wayless.
Hope that ward's worth it. He might get jumped on. Yujay's there. Oh, he's just biding his time. He really is a ninja. There's the jump in! Oh, he gets kicked back, and Yujay was not expecting that as he gets a death mark onto him. One more will do it, and he shadows over that way. Mickey now locked up
from
into the
downtown
Jarvan
Rocket.
Cataclysm. They're still saving. One more will do it. It's going to land on Mickey, not Sois, but still, once again pushing damage and punishing, just extending into their own jungle. World Elite Academy can't do anything like that. This opens up Baron now. This is... Oh, man, they want to bait this out.
The ward control from LGD right now.
This is so smart. Oh, SMLZ gets on in there, and there's the Flag and Dragon. Can they take it? Don't think so. PYL has to turn around. Gets his own ult off as well as the intervention. Rano shifting away. That was a bit misplayed by LGD, but they really could have had something there.
Lack of communication right there to burn the intervention and the Zillion ult on the same target. Obviously, anytime that goes down, that's not the correct way to do that. I kind of think that the other fumble here was the fact that XQ didn't prioritize the fact that World Elite Academy had put so many resources in that top jungle. He started to mosey from bot, obviously looking to see, because if a team fight had gone down there trying to pull their sneaky Fnatic rush, it would have immediately turned into a Baron. You have to think their Baron time at 18 minutes. They have the Bork available on Zed. They have the eye edge should XQ have swung over. So I see what the thought process was. Didn't utilize the Cataclysm correctly. I don't even think they had the cooldown available to them at the time, but I think it could have been a free tower, so a little bit of a missed opportunity right there and a lack of communication.
Still pretty far along in the lead right now, 5 towers to none. And when you got that much gold in your pocket over your opponents, it's pretty close to double digits now. They have full control over the map. All they have to do is not let themselves get caught out and let World Elite Academy wiggle back into this game. Wayless still looking for a pick. I don't think SMLZ is going to go for it, though.
So brutal right now, and at this point there's nothing anyone can do. I think the only person that he wouldn't just immediately assassinate is Mickey God with the wild growth. Khan would be a little bit closer, trying to look at his items. He just has Trinity Force, so he doesn't have any sort of armor or resistances right there, although it would be harder to chase him down due to Aurelia's passive and how her kit works. But otherwise, again, talking about how self-sufficient this Zed pick is, the fact that he can command this many resources, no one can duel him at this point. He's a threat. We saw not only to one person, but he almost 2v1'd Morgana and Soas in the previous red jungle, so obviously playing this Baron dance game.
He's demanding quite a lot of attention on this bot side. Whoa, they find Soist, and he goes out of position once again. Wild Growth keeping him alive, but for how long? He'll get the kick off onto Xuan. XQ now realizing, oh, there's a teleport coming in. I mean, Xuan goes big, and he finds himself a kill, but he falls down afterwards. Khan now being targeted out. 17, can he stay alive? Bomb's going to land, and they're dropping him right now. EYL getting that kill. Wayless coming around the side. Deathmark should be enough to assassinate Lucian, but it isn't. They find UJ instead, and it's going to be XQ for the ace, and they lose Xuan, get themselves all 5 members of World Elite Academy, and this is going to be a Baron in favor of LGD and then some.
XQ, fantastic position right there, just Jinx standing in the back. Yes, Xuan is the only person to fall down, but I feel like it was a solid Cataclysm, definitely hashtag worth. I think he got all 4 members, or at least 4 members, possibly 5 out of World Elite Academy right there, and XQ just stood in the back. The damage that those rockets are doing right now on an AoE scale.
Oh yeah, that's a 2-item Jinx, but with that extra oomph that he's getting in the levels right now, he's several levels over SMLZ, and this is why they can't take a fight. Let's take a look at the replay.
So the big play here, obviously, Soas goes in, gets the red buff, but at what cost? Gets knocked up. Look at that burst damage, is huge, and Xuan should come over the wall here, and he grabs, so that is going to be 4 members. Immediately flashes, fantastic Cataclysm. The issue is the lack of communication. The intervention was available as well as the Zillion ult right there. If it had gone down on him before he flashed the wall, it would have been a picture-perfect play. So obviously, LGD firing on all cylinders, but, you know, still a little bit behind in what their composition really needs to do, but XQ and Wayless able to clean that up.
That certainly gives them a pretty massive lead, though, considering the 4 members with the Baron buff. Actually, 5. Xuan already came in, and here's going out of Mickey. He is going so ham in this one, and he's pretty happy with his performance so far. 17 going to catch up as they stunned out Xuan, but still were able to put a lot of damage onto that Lulu so far. Mickey's going to have to go back to base and defend this. So at this point, they've opened it wide on the map. They have 1 outer tower to take. Way less on that side. They can take this dragon completely for free. Is there anything World Elite Academy can do to get back into this?
It's LGD's game to lose at this point. They'd have to stall immensely just because they're completely out-leveled. The gold difference is astronomical right now. 41k to 28k.
And the level difference. Look at who's got the kills, too. Both the carries, 5-0.
It's mostly the experience. Yes, that's a huge factor right now. The fact that Zed is level 15, going to close in on that level 16. Level 16 death mark will be available, and that's going to be painful. I like the fact that they're still playing the it's not even a 4-1 split right now, but the fact that Wayless is kind of split up from the team and he's constantly being used to draw more resources over. Talk about how he's almost level 16. His ability to 1v5 is pretty high right now.
Oh yeah, look at that. They just get collapsed on, Xuan and Wayless, and they can't do enough to follow it up as Academy is just a little bit scared of what's waiting around the corner. Rightly so. Saw PYL hanging out there with 17. They didn't even need XQ as he gets himself a red buff to push forward on this last outer tower. I feel like the siege is just going to muscle them in.
XQ wants some blood, though.
Oh, he does. The rocket's going to go off. I don't know what that was aiming for, but it hit Khan straight in the face.
He's just trying to create damage to poke them off. Think of it as the culling coming across. A
little higher cooldown culling. Speaking of SMLZ, is pretty low in all of that.
There we go. Now they have their 4-1. So Wayless, obviously in a different lane from his team, has his shadow available to him so he can get out of any sort of sticky situation. 2 people show up. Chances are he can kill both of them.
I don't know if they're going to go for that, though. They're just knocking down the mid right now, so way less uncontested for the time being. Inhibitor number 1 soon to follow. XQ, a little out of position. Soul Shackle's going down, but he moves away from it anyways. And Xuan going in for the disengage and the re-engage. Cataclysm forcing Summoner spell spent on all sides. And the Zillion ult comes off Chrono Shift to save Xuan, and they're still staying alive. The intervention keeping PYL, and there's the Zed assassination. Soist, only SMLZ's alive. This might be game number 1. Frostgrid, they just turned up the gas. It was their game, but they want to take it now.
It's now a question of what is World Elite Academy going to do at this point. We talked about how Xuan, he hasn't performed really on anyone but Lee Sin. His Jarvan performance, night and day from the rest of the season. 4-1-11, 19 kills. So fantastic kill participation right there. Just look at the BM, the Jinx rockets coming across. LGD absolutely dominating performance. Obviously, this is the last place LPL team. That said, World Elite Academy has pretty much shifted majority of their roster. They brought over the new Korean blood, so it's not the same team that, you know, kind of fumbled out of the gate here. I'd say probably the last 3 weeks they can own up to, but...
Yeah, well, this is great for LGD right now. If they win game number 2, And based on that performance, they certainly are looking great. A little demoralized on the side of World Elite Academy. They'll get 3 points, and that will somersault them over Invictus Gaming to take that elusive fifth place slot. I couldn't say it. I tried 2 or 3 times.
You were trying, but going ahead and pulling up the standings, obviously these aren't up to date just yet, but you see there LGD in 6th place, Invictus Gaming in 5th place. With this win right now, obviously there is a second set. They have 1 point already, which puts them up to 10. If they win the next game, it's going to give them an extra 2 points, which, like you said, will somersault them, to use your words, right over Invictus Gaming and back into that 5th place spot.
But Academy, they don't go down without a fight, even if that looked a little bit rough on their side. If they happen to take a win and the game splits, the brackets look a little bit different with World Elite Academy and Young Glory will still be tied, will be tied, excuse me, and World Elite Academy won't be alone in last place after this. They've got something to fight for still, and we'll have to go ahead and take a look at that next game, but we will be right back. We're on a quick break. So guys, please don't go anywhere. Of course, watching the LPL in English, brought to you by Esports Heaven and Games in Asia.
也害怕路跑，对。
对，有一种可能是什么呢？就是他们的打野